of the things I love about our wonderful community, our chums, our friends here, is that many seem like me to love learning all about history. You know, I'm fascinated by it simply because I don't know if you find this, but sometimes we think we're the only ones, don't we? And again, as you get a little bit older and you talk to people, they think they've invented the wheel. It doesn't matter, does it, whether you say, oh, we had vinyl records or gramophone records or whatever. Right, yeah, well, it's download now, you know. And you're always made to feel like you're out of kilter, not necessarily adding anything. And when you think about it, so many people have gone beyond and done so many things to make the world a better place. As you know, we live in a society as well where we're all spending more and more time on screens and looking down at tablets and iPads and iPhones, a bit like you now. Yes, I'm looking at you. I know, I can see, you see, this is a problem. And the thing is, we're always told how we look after our eyes, you know, rest them, all that sort of stuff. And when you think about it, you know, it is good advice. Behind me here, though, is a man that really changed the world for so many people. Seemingly because when you think about it, he must have been seen as, well, as it said in the books, people simply didn't believe him, you know, and a lot of people were absolutely terrified to undergo this latest technique. I'm just on the corner of Harley Street in London. Now, it's the world's most famous, as we know, medical centre. You know, it was the place that everybody went to, particularly if you could afford it. Don't worry, I'm not here for anything like that, and I certainly couldn't afford it. But it's fascinating to think that really in these rooms, in these big houses, so many wonderful practices have gone on. This particular gentleman, Joseph Dallas, born in 1905 and lived through to 1979, was a real innovator because in 1930 he invented the new living eye impression. Now you might say, well, what's that? Well, it's a thing that's become a global industry, not just used for everyday use, but in movies, changing the colour of people's eyes, sometimes to very dramatic effect in horror movies like Christopher Lee and Dracula, all of that sort of stuff. He was the man that actually created the very first living contact lens and had a practice in this building, literally behind me here, from 1930 right through until 1964. And as I say, you wander around this wonderful city and you think, wow, you know, that must have changed so many people's lives. I'm sure there's many people out there watching the show today that use contact lenses. Now, I've got to be honest, I don't need them, but I do have a bit of a fear of that thing of putting the, you know, the plastic over your eye. It's a bit weird, isn't it, when you think about it? But I'm sure once you've been shown, it's like everything, you feel fine. Of course, many people out there suffer with eye problems, from cataracts to all sorts of problems. But isn't it refreshing to know that there was somebody brave enough, clever enough, unique enough to literally turn this idea around? And at the time, as I said, he was ridiculed. People saying, this will never take on, it's too dangerous, no, just stick with glasses. He pursued it and, more importantly, convinced people, to which now, as I say, has become a global industry. But Joseph Dallas, really, we owe him so much. Isn't it nice to see that he has a plaque at least remembering him? It's always good to remember those people that have added so much good to the world. I'm sure you'll agree. Now, for all those out there pondering, should I get some contact lenses? Do remember to say thank you to Joseph when you do. Neil Sean, Harley Street, London.